Hey guys, my name's Adam, and I'm just on my way to VidCon in a short while. I'm waiting for my brother to pick me up, and I have to do this Hugh Manatee tag TMI edition because I gotta get it done before I go because I will not be able to upload while I'm out there. I was tagged by Tor. You guys probably know Tor already, so go check out her channel if you haven't, and check out Hugh Manatee's channel. He's the guy that invented this tag. Question number 1, who is your arch nemesis? Truth is, I don't really have an arch nemesis. I get along with people pretty well. Yeah, no one really that I know of, at least. Number 2, if you could punch one celebrity in the face, who would it be? Recently, Tor and I were in a hangout with Servatorix, and somebody asked, what would you do if you saw Elijah Wood in California? And I said I would punch him, so I guess that means that Elijah Wood is the one. Number 3, how did you learn about sex? Probably from other kids in the schoolyard, just kids tell you stuff. And number 4, describe your first kiss. That was in kindergarten. I don't think there was much really to say. Number 5, explain the story of the first time you slapped or punched someone in anger. See, here's the thing is, I have a little brother, and we grew up fighting a lot. I mean, I can tell you the first time that my aunt came over and babysat us when we were about, 6 or 8 years old. Her memories of it are me vertical suplexing my brother off of the couch, and my brother had a broken cast on his arm because he had a broken arm, and he was slamming it in my face. So it's pretty hard to remember these early memories of childhood. Number 6, your worst flying experience. That would probably have to be flying into North Bay from Toronto. It's like a 1-hour flight. I don't even think it's that long. And it's like a bush plane. There's like 30 people on the plane, and it's terrifying. It feels like a good gust of wind and the plane's gonna flip over. There was one time when I flew into Calgary, probably my last year there, and there was a kid. He was sitting beside me. He was about 10, 12 years old, and he saw me reading a book, and he asked what I was reading, and I told him Bret Hart. Had no idea who Bret Hart was. I was horrified that there was a 12-year-old kid on the planet that didn't know who Bret Hart was, but shows how much times had changed. He saw this, and I said I was reading Bret the Hitman Hart, and he said, "Oh, I thought that was a book about Hitler." And I guess that he thinks that he's giving like the Heil Hitler sign or something, and he thought this said Hitler instead of Hitman. Who is your YouTube crush? I don't have a YouTube crush. No, so nobody. How would someone chat you up and succeed? I'm a weird guy, kind of. If you're alright with me being kind of a weird guy, then we would probably get along. Describe your worst injury. If you can see it, yeah, right here. See that? That is from when I was a kid. I got into a fight it was probably about the 4th grade, and the guy kicked me in the face with his hockey skate. So yeah, that's truly the Canadian's worst injury. Number 10, most recent socially awkward moment. I don't really have one. I think that people feel more awkward around me than, like, I just am who I am. I kind of get through life, and people tend to tell me that must have been embarrassing, and I'm just like, no, not really. Number 11, name your meerkat. There is only one answer, and it is Timon. 12, first sex toy. No sex toy. I've never owned a sex toy. Number 13, describe the first time you got so drunk that you can't remember. I don't smoke, I don't drink, and I don't do drugs, but I used to. There are a lot of stories that I can tell about me drinking, but I am not really willing to put them on the internet. And again, since at this point I haven't had a drink in like 7 years. So I was in Calgary, so like 7 years. Yeah, so I'm not gonna tell drinking stories, sorry. And you know what, to PS to that, it's cool if you want to drink. I'm not gonna tell stories about something that I don't do now. Who was featured in your first sex stream? I don't recall. I probably would have been pretty young. I'm going to probably say Jessica Rabbit, just to not dodge the question, because I kind of dodged the last one, but I don't know. Which movie clubber would you boink? I think this one should be pretty obvious. Who was the last person you sent a questionable Snapchat to? Nobody. I don't use Snapchat. When was the last time you hurt your friend's feelings? I don't know. I hope that I haven't hurt any of your feelings. Those of you watching this that know me, I try hard not to hurt my friends' feelings. Sometimes it happens, and I try to apologize for it if they let me know. I'm sure that it happens more often than I realize, and I try not to let that happen though. Zombie apocalypse. Is there anyone you immediately want to kill? Not really. This is actually, I wish that I had more interesting answers, but sorry, I don't have anyone that I'm going to plot to kill, and I'm probably not going to admit that on the internet anyway. When was the last time you judged someone based on their appearance? Here's the thing is, I tend to not judge people on their appearance. I let people sort of show me what they're like and judge them based on that. Usually I do the opposite. If someone is dressed like a gangster or really hardcore, I'm usually like, all right, let's find out just how hard this guy is, and they usually aren't as gangster as they think. Toilet paper, folder or scruncher? I guess I'm a folder. Scrunching it seems messy, but that's probably an issue for another video. What was the most embarrassing public moment in life? I don't have one that I can really recall. I'm sure it's happened. Like I said, I'm a pretty hard guy to embarrass usually. If you could go on a date with any fictional character, where would you go and with who? I don't want to date a fictional character. I have a girlfriend. I don't want to date her. I don't want to date pretend people instead. What personal grooming habit do you take the most seriously? I would say showering. I don't really think I would want to not shower so much, although I'm sure everybody's going to say it's my hair. I don't really take it that seriously though. I just think it looks shitty if I don't put something into it. What is your weirdest fear? Here's the thing is, I have a very active imagination, so I don't have like a single worst fear that I sit alone thinking about, but if you put me in any situation, I'm probably always thinking about the exact worst way that it could happen. I'm probably thinking like, yeah, this fucking building could fall and collapse and we could all be trapped, and what am I gonna do? So yeah, there's that. You are now a member of the opposite sex for a month. What is the best part and the worst part? The best part, I would say, is probably that people would buy me stuff for free, because hopefully I would be a not so bad looking lady. The worst part, I can tell you from experience, is guys hitting on you. And yes, I can tell you from experience, because I had a friend at a job that was gay, and he was my friend, and he would hit on me, and I kind of figured out what it was like for ladies at that point, because I kept telling him, look, this is not going to happen, and if you don't stop hitting on me, we can't be friends anymore. Describe the last time you were embarrassed in an undressing situation. I don't know of any that I can really think of, although I think in a week when I hit the beach, I may be a little bit embarrassed, because I'm definitely not in as good a shape as I wanted to be for the beach, but that's the way it goes. If you could change one thing about your sexual past, what would it be? I don't really have anything that I would change. Everything I've done in my past has got me to where I am now, so I wouldn't change a thing. Describe your worst sex dream. What? People have bad sex dreams? Okay. I've never had a bad sex dream, so I don't have an answer. On a scale of 1 to 10, how romantic are you? I would say I'm maybe a 6 or 7. I don't know. Tor would probably be a better person to ask than I would. I just try to, be a good boyfriend and do, I don't forget Valentine's Day and things like that. So I guess that counts for something, right? What athlete would you most like to screw? Again with the screwing questions. I'm in a relationship, so I plead the fifth. What is your most embarrassing moment while on vacation? Again, I'm a hard guy to embarrass, so I don't really have one that I can think of. How often do you go commando? Never. I don't ever really go commando. What is sex? Sex is any time that two people become physically intimate with each other. What are you thinking right now? I'm thinking I need to finish this tag game. What is your favorite thing about Servatorix? Servatorix is a really good friend, really awesome guy, a lot of fun, very funny. So yeah, that's like 3 things right there. So Servatorix, if you haven't checked out his channel, go check that out too. Have you ever been in the back of a police car? Yeah, I've been in the back of a police car. If so, why? So I dodged the drinking question, right? So I guess I can't dodge this one. Alright, so one time when I was about 19 years old, I decided to go to the bar. I was drinking while I was walking and bringing a large amount of very strong alcohol with me and drinking it because it was a pretty long walk. Once I got to a certain point, it was clear that I was too drunk to get into the bar. I might not even make it to the bar without passing out because I was really drunk at that point. And finally I decided that I should call my parents and get them to sort of rescue me. So I went to the payphone. I was too drunk to dial on the keypad, so I just started hitting buttons. I don't know whether I dialed 911 or whether you button mash enough and they just assume that you need 911. I hear a voice behind me, "Hey, who are you trying to call?" And I go, "I'm trying to call my parents for a ride home." And then they respond, "Well, we'll give you a ride home." And I look over my shoulder and there's 2 police officers. Long story short, they drove me home that night. 37, how old were you when you lost your virginity? I was probably sometime in high school. 38, if you could be a spice, which one would you be? Cayenne pepper. 39, have you ever been in love? I think I'm going to take Tor's answer and say I'm in love now, and that's kind of all that really matters. 40, what is your worst habit? I would say the coffee. I should probably kick that habit. I did have it kicked once, but I got 12-hour shifts and it was just like, alright, you need coffee to survive this. 41, have you ever deliberately bought clothing for the opposite sex? I'd like to say that I've bought Tor a dress at some point, but I don't even think I've done that, so I mean, no, I don't think I've bought Tor any clothing. I'm terrible, aren't I? 42, have you ever showered well dressed? No. 43, do you have your lungs, and if so, sing something. I don't have lungs. I will not be singing. 44, are you scared of what will be asked next? No, because if I don't want to answer it, I'll just skip it. 45, what is behind you? Well, I can actually see in the viewfinder that there is a collector's edition of Star Wars A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back directly behind me. Those are both posters that came out when the digitally remastered and THX versions of Star Wars came out, and they were in a closet in my parents' house up until I bought this house, and when we sort of cleaned out all of my stored belongings, we came across them. I was like, oh, those are friggin' pimp. So I put them up, and yeah, they've been there ever since. Actually, that's not true. Tor's taken them down a few times, but they're still there now. Can you do this with your fingers? And I know from Tor's video that it's like this. What is it? I can probably do it if I really... No, that's not it. I don't think I can do it, actually. What type of alcohol will you never drink again? I will never drink any alcohol again because I don't drink. 52, what is your favorite moment from a foreign country? I've never been to a foreign country, but I'm on my way to one, so I will predictively say that my favorite moment from a foreign country is going to meet Servatorix, Baxorn, Christina, and Drifting Johnny out in LA at VidCon, because that's going to be very awesome and probably the highlight of my trip. If you won $1 million but couldn't tell anyone that you won it, what would you spend it on so that no one would find out? Maybe advertisement? Maybe advertisement for Movie Club Strikes Back, because I assume I couldn't do it on like my own channel or a channel that I own. So collaborative channel would, yeah, that works, right? Nobody would really know why we suddenly got this gigantic jolt in traffic and everybody would be happy. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that. What is an embarrassing story from when you were in school? I don't have embarrassing stories. Other people get embarrassed for me. Other people around me get embarrassed when they're near me. I'm sorry, I'm just a weird guy. If you could generate something at will, what would it be? Probably money, I think. Is that terrible for me to say? But you could solve a lot of problems with infinite money, right? Alright, so now let's get to my question. Number 56. Something that you loved as a child that now you're kind of ashamed to admit it. When I was a kid, I used to listen to nu metal, Korn and Limp Bizkit. As an adult, going back and listening to some of their songs, like heavy metal music to nursery rhymes. As a teenager, seemed like the most rebellious thing on the planet. As an adult, it's not very creative or rebellious like I thought it once was. Number 57, because I'm curious for you guys, who is or was your favorite professional wrestler? And don't say nobody, because everybody had at least one favorite professional wrestler when they were a kid. For me, I'd have to say either Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels. Those were my two childhood favorites, and as an adult, they're still two of the greatest. 58, state one unpopular opinion that you have. That would be something that you feel 100% sure of that nobody else seems to agree with. For me, I posted this on Facebook, for those of you that have me on Facebook, is that all grown men look goofy in shorts. I'm sorry, I don't. If you wear shorts, do your thing, that's cool, but I just, for some reason, I mean, ladies have nice legs so they can pull it off. Children are children, but men just look weird and a little bit goofy in shorts, if you ask me. What is your favorite physical feature of the opposite sex? What's the first thing you noticed in the opposite sex? For me, it is a smile. I actually really like seeing a woman with a nice smile. You'll see, if you ever spend any time with me or Tor, I'm always just trying to get her to smile just a little bit. And number 60, wow, we're up to 60, guys. How old were you when you got your first cell phone? Here's a fact that is going to blow my children's mind when I tell them. My first cell phone, I was probably like 25 years old when I got my first cell phone. I just didn't have a use for one until then. So anyway, that's it. I hope you guys like this. Let me know what you guys think. I know some of my answers were pretty boring. Next, I've got to tag someone. I had a lot of difficulty finding someone that wanted to do this. So anyway, the next person to get tagged is going to be Meta. I've sent her a message on Twitter, and she knows that she's the next one to get tagged. So go check out her channel to see what she has to say and what her answers to all of these questions are. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.